I think we may have some vision of it. Maybe you can walk me through a little bit of what we're seeing here.
Well, we have a lot of fun.
That's you in the yellow, second row. Coco Gauff in the front right.
Oh, in the front. We love to dance. Oh gosh, are they going to show the end?
I hope so. We can stop it whenever you want. You call it.
You guys can.
It only took a few seconds of one viral clip to flip the entire tennis world upside down. Coco Gauff and Serena Williams were captured dancing together at a post-event celebration, laughing, moving in sync, and looking like they were having the time of their lives. Fans loved it, the crowd went wild, and the internet exploded. But one person who definitely wasn't smiling? Aryna Sabalenka, who had just watched the WTA Player of the Year honor slip out of her hands and land directly in Coco's. And when Serena stepped onto the court moments later and praised Coco like a proud mentor, people online couldn't help saying it, this wasn't just a celebration. Serena had just humbled Sabalenka without even trying.
No, I want to see it. Oh
no. But the real story behind that moment goes way deeper than one dance. The clip didn't just go viral, it detonated. Coco and Serena weren't posing or performing, they were just enjoying themselves. The music hit, Coco started moving, and Serena instantly matched her energy like they'd rehearsed it for years. The whole arena lit up. Fans cheered louder than they had all night. And people online turned the moment into slow-mo edits, memes, and fan tributes within minutes. What made it sting for Sabalenka wasn't just the timing, it was the symbolism. This moment happened right after Coco was officially crowned WTA Player of the Year, an award Sabalenka believed she deserved, especially after the emotional roller coaster of the WTA Finals. Watching Coco celebrate with the Serena Williams, the greatest American player in history, only amplified the contrast between their nights. Coco soaking in love and legacy, Sabalenka wiping away tears backstage. And yet, the dance was only the beginning. Because what Serena said next is what really made people say Sabalenka got humbled. When Serena Williams stepped onto the court, the entire atmosphere shifted. People weren't just excited, they were waiting to hear what the Serena would say about the new superstar rising in her shadow. And Serena didn't hold back.
I feel like she has a good serve. I think that it can obviously be better, but I feel like she's so young. Oh my goodness, she has the rest of her career to just improve. I wouldn't change anything on her forehand. I've seen a lot of interesting forehands, and listen, I think if you're just confident in whatever you have, keep it up and just be confident about it.
She spoke about Coco with the kind of admiration that felt personal, almost protective. She praised Coco's maturity, her composure under pressure, and even highlighted her unique forehand, something critics had been nitpicking for years. Serena brushed all that aside and basically said, "She's built for greatness, trust what she has." The crowd ate it up. Coco stood there trying not to smile too hard, but you could see how much it meant to her. And then, in a moment that made fans scream, the interviewer played the clip of Coco and Serena dancing. Instead of brushing it off, Serena burst out laughing, covering her face, joking with the crowd like she was reliving the moment all over again. It was fun, genuine, and full of the kind of warmth Coco's been surrounded with all season.
No, I want to see it. Oh no.
But behind that joy was something else the cameras didn't show. Sabalenka watching her last chance at the Player of the Year narrative disappear in real time. Serena wasn't attacking her, but the message felt loud anyway. This is what real sportsmanship looks like. And this is what earns respect. And that's when everything online exploded. Because while Coco and Serena celebrated, Sabalenka was dealing with something much heavier. For Sabalenka, the WTA Finals weren't supposed to end in heartbreak. They were supposed to be her redemption arc. All season long, she'd been chasing that Player of the Year title with the kind of determination that made fans believe she was destined to take it. So when she stepped onto the court against Aryna Sabalenka, she wasn't just playing a match, she was defending her entire narrative. But from the first few games, you could see the panic creeping in. Sabalenka was steady, calm, and picked apart every gap Sabalenka left open. By the second set, Sabalenka looked like she was fighting herself more than she was fighting her opponent. When the final point slipped away, everything inside her exploded. She covered her face, shoulders shaking, and collapsed into tears in a way that told the whole story without a single word. And it didn't stop there. During the post-match ceremony, she tried to speak, but her voice trembled. She said she's getting more sensitive with age, but her expression said something completely different. This wasn't just about losing a match. This was about realizing she had just watched Coco Gauff, her biggest rival this season, claim the crown she had been chasing for months. Fans caught on to that instantly. Social media lit up with comments like "those aren't match loss tears," and "she knows Player of the Year is gone." And honestly, they weren't wrong. The timing was brutal. Within hours, Coco was being celebrated. Within hours, Serena was dancing beside her. And within hours, Sabalenka was seen wiping away mascara and trying to explain her emotions to reporters, who already knew what the headlines would say the next morning. But if the tears highlighted Sabalenka's vulnerability, what came next highlighted something else entirely, because instead of finding comfort in her team, she ended up clashing with them in a moment that became even more viral than her breakdown. If Sabalenka's tears after the finals loss showed how much pressure she was under, the moment with her team showed just how badly that pressure was boiling over. During one of the most tense stretches of the match, her coach Anton Dubrov approached her, trying to calm her down and reset her focus. But instead of listening, Sabalenka snapped. She lashed out mid-match, shouting in frustration, waving him off like he was the problem, instead of the person trying to help her.
Gonna talk, but I don't know where he is. But yeah, I went a bit too much. I was so frustrated inside of me, and I was just like trying to let it go. Probably I went too far, not probably I went too far. And then honestly, I think it was the right move from him to probably like just let me be on my own. And I don't want to say the way I wanted to say, but he really upset me, and I was really, really stressed and angry on him.
The crowd didn't miss it. Cameras didn't miss it. And Dubrov definitely didn't miss it. Because after a brief exchange, he did something almost no coach ever does. He walked away. Not to another seat, not to regroup, he walked out completely. Fans watched him leave in disbelief, and within minutes, the clip was everywhere. Analysts immediately compared that moment to Coco Gauff's presence on court. While Coco stayed level-headed, grounded, and composed, Sabalenka looked shaken, overwhelmed, and in conflict with the very team meant to support her. It wasn't the first time emotions got the best of Sabalenka, but this time it played out on the biggest stage possible. And the brutal part? This wasn't even an isolated incident. Sabalenka had already burned a bridge with a previous coach after another emotional blow-up. That coach, Gavin McMillan, handled the situation almost identically. He walked away too. The only difference? Coco Gauff ended up hiring him.
Full partnership, but I'm just looking at long term, and I know Gavin has had experience with this before, so hoping that I can just take on his knowledge and see what can happen.
By then, people started connecting the dots. Sabalenka wasn't just losing matches. She was losing respect, losing patience, and losing the people who were supposed to help her stay grounded. And that's exactly why Serena Williams' reaction to Coco's rise felt so pointed, without Serena ever saying a negative word. When Coco announced she had added Gavin McMillan, the very coach Sabalenka once clashed with, to her team, the tennis world instantly understood the significance. This wasn't just a smart strategic move, it was symbolic. McMillan had walked away from Sabalenka after one too many emotional outbursts, choosing professionalism over chaos, and now he was standing beside the calmest, most composed young star in the sport. People saw it as Coco quietly doing everything Sabalenka couldn't. Where Sabalenka pushed people away, Coco drew them in. Where Sabalenka battled with frustration, Coco navigated pressure with maturity. And this shift didn't go unnoticed by the person who had just danced beside Coco, praised her publicly, and seen herself in her journey. Serena Williams. Serena has always admired players who carry themselves with respect, poise, and a strong competitive spirit. And all season long, Coco had shown exactly that. Serena supported her during tough matches, defended her when critics attacked her forehand, and openly acknowledged her growth. When Coco beat Sabalenka at the US Open, Serena didn't hesitate to praise her game, her mindset, and her potential. Meanwhile, Sabalenka's emotional blow-ups, from yelling at team members to intimidating behavior on court, painted a completely different picture. Fans noticed that Serena's tone shifted in subtle ways whenever Sabalenka's name came up. It wasn't aggressive or direct. It was almost like Serena was choosing to uplift Coco, while letting Sabalenka's actions speak for themselves. And that's where this whole situation takes a sharp turn. Because Serena's support didn't just boost Coco, it highlighted the exact traits Sabalenka has struggled with for years. It was unspoken but unmistakable. Serena wasn't trying to humble Sabalenka, but the contrast did it for her. And as the season wrapped up, the divide between them only grew bigger. By the time the season came to a close, the contrast between Coco and Sabalenka wasn't just noticeable, it was impossible to ignore. Coco was rising with a calm confidence, surrounded by support, love, and the guidance of legends. Every tournament she played added another layer to her maturity. Every interview showed more poise, every victory felt like the beginning of something bigger, not the peak of her moment. On the other side, Sabalenka's story looked painfully different. She wasn't just losing titles, she was losing the people around her. Her temper had pushed away 2 coaches. Her emotional outbursts had become regular headlines. Her intimidating tactics on court weren't being seen as toughness anymore, they were being seen as signs she wasn't in control. Even fans who once defended her started questioning whether she was sabotaging her own legacy. And in the middle of all this stood Serena Williams, watching everything unfold. Serena never called Sabalenka out directly. She didn't need to. Serena's support for Coco, her mentorship, her public praise, her excitement watching Coco win, sent its own message. In sports, the legends gravitate toward the players who carry themselves with grace, who respect the game, who build others up instead of tearing people down. And Serena made it clear, without ever saying it out loud, which player earned that respect. Coco's rise wasn't just about talent. It was about character. It was about how she treated people, how she handled pressure, how she learned from every setback. Serena saw herself in that, and fans saw the difference instantly. Coco was gaining allies, mentors, and admiration, while Sabalenka seemed to be standing there completely alone, left with nothing but the weight of her emotions and the titles she almost won. And that's why the viral dance moment hit so hard. It wasn't just Coco and Serena having fun, it was a symbol of everything Coco built, and everything Sabalenka pushed away. One player surrounded by support, one player drowning in frustration, and as their stories headed in 2 opposite directions, there was one final question everyone was asking. In the end, that short clip of Coco and Serena dancing became more than just a viral moment. It became a snapshot of 2 completely different paths. Coco Gauff rising higher than ever, surrounded by legends who genuinely believe in her, backed by a team she respects, and celebrated by a tennis community that sees her as the future. And Serena Williams, the greatest American player of all time, standing right beside her, showing the world exactly who she sees as worthy of carrying the torch. Meanwhile, Sabalenka found herself on the opposite side of that spotlight. Her raw talent is undeniable, but talent alone can't protect a player from the consequences of their own behavior. The emotional outbursts, the tension with coaches, the intimidating moments on court, each one chipped away at her reputation until she wasn't just losing titles. She was losing the respect that defines a true champion. And that's why the moment felt like a humbling one. Serena didn't confront Sabalenka, she didn't call her out, she didn't even mention her. But by celebrating Coco with joy, pride, and genuine admiration, Serena showed the whole world what real greatness looks like. Composure, respect, growth, a legacy built on both talent and character. So now the question becomes yours. Do you think Sabalenka's actions have held her back? Has her behavior impacted her legacy more than her results? And how do you feel about Coco Gauff becoming the new face of American tennis with Serena Williams guiding her rise? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This is one debate every tennis fan has an opinion on.